So my name is Diana. If we haven't met before, I'm super glad to have you here and thank you for watching this video. I think you're going to learn a lot. So today I want to share a personal testimony with you about how I changed the length of my cycle and also moved my ovulation date closer to the normal range using just natural products and essential oils. So when you look at a perfect 28-day menstrual cycle, bleeding starts on day 1 and ovulation occurs on day 14. And everything else is just supposed to work normally in between those days, right? Well, how many women that's true for, honestly, I don't know, but for me, it certainly was not true. So when I actually wised up to tracking my cycle, I figured out that my cycle was short. So typically it was more like 26 days instead of 28. And it might not seem like a lot, just 2 days short, but when you're trying to get pregnant, those 2 days really matter a lot because it can mean the difference between an embryo implanting properly and causing a shift in your hormones before a bleed starts or not. So through cycle tracking, I also noticed that I was ovulating around day 21, typically instead of day 14. And that is really late in the cycle to be ovulating. I literally had no time for embryo fertilization to occur before I got my next period. So I set out a couple years ago to get the lengths of each of my cycle phases back on track. Now, I do realize that most of you are not in that phase of life where you want to try to get pregnant, but this is still good information for you to hear about because it helps you know what to look for and something to talk with your doctor about and try, and also great information to pass along to other people who may still be in those years where they're wanting to get pregnant or just know more about their cycle. So I started doing some research and looking for testimonies about lengthening menstrual cycles naturally, and I got clued into using a blend called Progessence Plus. Now, this essential oil is made primarily from wild yam extract, which is a 100% natural and widely used substance for supporting the female body. I noticed that when I used Progessence Plus, from a few days after my period until I started bleeding for the next month, I was able to add more days to the end of my cycle. So yay, that one problem seemed to be moving in the right direction. The problem though was now my cycle was moved from 28 days to usually about 31 days, but my ovulation was still late on day 21 instead of day 14, which is considered around that normal time. So I knew I had some more work to do with the first half of my cycle. And as I looked into natural solutions for that, I found loads of testimonies for a blend called Dragon Thyme and a single oil called Clary Sage. So I started using both of those during the first half of my cycle, and maybe after like 3 or 4 months, I was ovulating on day 16. So I had successfully moved my ovulation up 5 whole days, and it was just such a huge improvement. So I stayed on that protocol and I kept tracking my cycle. I was able to hold my cycle days steady for a year until I got pregnant with my first set of twins through IVF. So the oils really did work for me. They helped me regulate my cycle. I also noticed that my PMS symptoms were less, my menstrual cramps and pain were less, and my bleeding was lighter. And I was able to regain the quality of my cervical fluid using these products after it was just completely wrecked by taking 3 rounds of Clomid during our initial infertility journey. So my body was basically a mess, and the oils helped me get back and feel more normal. And now I'm in the phase where I am on the cusp of perimenopause, so I'm looking into a few supplements and other natural remedies to help me through the next change. And I'm going to be giving you some of that information later in the week. And if you want to know more specifics about how I used Dragon Thyme, Clary Sage, and Progessence Plus, I'm going to be sharing that information about my exact protocol over in our VIP group. So thanks everybody for watching and have a great day.